Jano Pedersen, former Speedway World Champion. Can you explain to us why you're at Sheffield tonight?
Oh, I'm up here with Ronnie Peterson. He's a new Dane that is living with me, and it's only his second race in England, so I'm up here trying to advise him or help him out to get started in British Speedway.
And you've been out for a long time with injuries now. How are your injuries actually clearing up?
Oh, very well actually. They have been out for what was it, nearly 17 months now, so it's quite a while, but it's going okay. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen here in the winter. I've just been told that I might have to go through another operation to get my rods from my back removed, so I'm just deciding whether to go through that or not.
And will there be a comeback once the injuries are cleared up?
It's a bit early to tell really. I mean, I would like to think so, but there's no decision yet. It all depends how my back is after the rods come out really.
And it must have been very frustrating for you not to have a chance to defend your World Championship.
No, I would like to do it again, go out in the world, see if I could win it again, because I mean, as you said, I lost it even without racing in the World Championship, so I would love to go out and try it again.
Thanks a lot, Jano, and let's hope your injuries clear up.
Thank you.
Well, it's KO Cup semi-final time. It's the Glasgow Alfred McAlpine Tigers racing against the Peterbough Sharman Quinney Panthers, and this has now become the first leg because the Peterborough leg was rained off on Friday. Reasonable weather here in Glasgow today. Track looks in good condition, and on the centre green, strategically placed just a few feet from the starting gate, the second division championship, which was won last year by Peterborough, handed over to Glasgow tonight by former world champion Jano Pedersen. Very nice to see him here. I think he'll be up probably with the Peterborough number 2, who we're going to see in a moment. The riders at the starting gate for heat number 1, Mick Poole on gate number 1. He got a warm welcome from the Tigers fans. Gate 2, Robert Nage, unbeatable round here recently. Gate 3, it's Ronnie Pedersen, no relation to Jano, but a protege of his. And in gate 4, it's Mick Powell. Mick Poole right up in the air there at the start. Ronnie Pedersen's made a good gate and swings round onto the back straight. And the Panthers have pegged Mick Powell at the back, but he's burst past Mick Poole there. Bit of a commentator's nightmare. Poole and Powell in the same race. Ronnie Pedersen hanging on bravely to second at the moment, but he'll have his work cut out. Obviously he hasn't ridden here before. He's still managed to stay ahead of Mick Powell as they go down the back straight. Quite a lot of dirt around. Mick Poole looking pretty well lost at the back. Robert Nage miles clear, but Ronnie Pedersen riding an impressive race here so far, although he's by no means shaken Mick Powell off. Going into the last lap, Mick Powell almost with Pedersen here, swinging out wide. He'll get some drive from that position, and he's gone past Pedersen as they enter the back straight. Good riding by Powell. Ronnie Pedersen's lost it on the last bend, so the Tigers open with a 5-1 to the great cheers from their crowd. And Mick Poole, a terrible ride there, and he really can't get to grips with this circuit. So a great start for the Tigers on what they hope will be a path to the KO Cup final. Well, they must be favourites, and they've made a very good start with a 5-1 there. Heat number 2, the man on gate 1 here is Jesper Olsen, and that's a great sight for the Tigers because Jesper broke his wrist just a week ago. In spite of that, he's there, ready to ride in this Cup semi-final. Next to him in gate 2, it's the captain of the Sharman Quinney Panthers, Alan Mogridge, with I'm afraid not a very good recent record in Scotland, although he has had good meetings here in the past. In gate 3, it's Nigel Crabtree, enjoying a bit of a rejuvenation at the moment. Leathers covered with the name Blomfelt. And in gate 4, it's Paul Hurry, promising young Panther. And it's Olsen and Crabtree made the start. Paul Hurry looking for a bit of drive down the back straight, and he's onto Olsen's back wheel. Trying to come inside Olsen here. Paul Hurry was quite impressive on Peterborough's last visit when they were hammered, but Hurry was about the only Panther who enhanced his reputation that night. They had Gary Allen guesting and he did very well. Alan Mogridge is a long way back already. and he's left it to young Hurry to do the chasing. Olsen's, oh my goodness, well, there was an unfortunate incident. These things tend to happen. Quite clearly Jesper Olsen locked up and Paul Hurry felt he had to lay down. Glasgow fans booing, but it was quite obvious what happened, and had it been the other way around, I don't think they would have liked it. But I suspect the race might nevertheless be declared. Heat 2 rerun. We are seeing a rerun because the riders hadn't quite reached the last lap, and so it gives Alan Mogridge a second chance. It didn't really look as though he was likely to be able to take advantage, but I suppose if he makes a decent start he'll have a chance. And he has got a better start. He's in between the two Tigers. Oh my goodness, he's fallen off. The great roars from the crowd. So he sets off half a lap behind to pick up the 1 point. Unless any of the Tigers do anything silly. You never do quite know when Jesper's on track. Tigers into their final lap. And you couldn't get an easier 5-1 than that. So Tigers lead by 10 points to 2. Gate 3, it's Hans Clausen on Gate 1 this time, the young Dane. Gate 2, it's Robert Nage, he's rider replacement for Shane Bowes. In Gate 3, it's Eric Monaghan, and in Gate 4, it's David Walsh. And at this stage, Panthers must be wondering where they're going to get their first point, over and above the minimum 1 from each race. Prospects don't look particularly great here, but we'll see. Start. He's just ahead round the first corner. Here comes Walsh round the outside though. I think he's going past. Robert Nage back in third. What's he going to do? Trying the big blast round the outside. Oh, and he's down. Well, that's a very unusual sight. I wonder if that's happened this year. I rather doubt it. Clausen's riding well. David Walsh leading the way. Clausen showing great improvement on some of his earlier performances here at Shawfield. There's a slick part on the inside of the track, there's grip on the outside. But Robert Nage just getting himself tangled up in some of the duck there on the third and fourth corner, trying the blast round the outside. Robert Nage finishes his third lap, but David Walsh now finishes his fourth lap, and the Panthers have managed to share a race thanks to Robert Nage falling off. So the score 13-5. number 4, the reserves in action here, and James Greaves gets gate number 1. In gate 2 it's Jason Gage. In gate 3 it's David Nagle. And Scott Curtin coming from the outside, relatively inexperienced. Tigers very strong at reserve, as they are throughout their side. James Greaves gets a fast start. David Nagle's at the back at the moment, but he cuts through on the first corner. Scott Curtin trying a dash round the outside, but collected the fence, and the Tigers reserves through into first and second places. Curtin in serious trouble at the back, leaving Jason Gage to put up what fight he can. He's nearly off as well there. And the Tigers reserves a long way clear now, they just have to ride steadily. Into his final lap. He must have won a very high number of races here this season. And David Nagle's come to a halt, so Tigers not enjoying the best of fortunes with non-finishers in the last 2 races. So Peterborough, for the second race running, get a fortuitous shared result, and it's at 16-8 now. Even though, to be honest, none of the Panthers have really gained a point. Heat number 5, Paul Hurry gets gate 1 in this one. Gate 2 it's Mick Powell for the Tigers. Gate 3 it'll be Alan Mogridge. And gate 4, taking quite a long time to emerge from the pits, Robert Nage. Made a good start from gate 1. Here comes Robert Nage for his burst round the outside, comfortably going to the front. But Alan Mogridge has got into third, and Mick Powell's been pegged back at the moment. Dives in on the inside there, Mick. Mogridge tearing round the outside, but to no effect. And Mick Powell's come through on the inside. Well, he passed Pedersen on the last lap in his first race. He passed both Panthers there on the first lap. Hurry's not given up though. A good burst by Hurry round the outside. Mick Powell straightens up, but Hurry's just about got into second there. Powell pressing back on the inside, and he's through. Mogridge isn't out of the action yet either. Here comes Hurry again, this time inside Powell. Both Panthers chasing hard after Mick Powell. Tending to get in each other's way a bit though, and not got that one right. I think Mick Powell's established in second now. And both Panthers trying a wide line there, no success there. 5-1 to the Tigers. 21-9 the score, and really we're still waiting for a Panther to beat a Tiger fair and square. Gate 6, Mick Powell coming into gate number 1. He's rider replacement here for Shane Bowes. Gate 2, it's Mick Poole. Gate 3, David Walsh. And Ronnie Pedersen goes from gate 4 after quite a good opening ride. Mick Poole runner-up in the recent Division 2 Riders' Championship, so he really ought to be able to do well here. Peterborough rely on a decent score from him, I think. No signs in heat number 1 at all that he was going to provide that. Tigers have gated. Mick Poole in between Powell and Walsh, but Ronnie Pedersen came through there past his supposed heat leader partner. Now Poole back into second place again, but not looking at all in control there. And it's Tigers on easy street again here. Walsh and Powell well clear. David Walsh very wide there. Tigers are team riding here, I think, and that sometimes means they go a bit slower and it gives the opposition a chance to make up ground. Here comes Mick Poole with a bit of a dash down the back straight. Into the last lap, the Tigers still together. Walsh and Powell, Walsh again very wide, but a comfortable 5-1 really, even though Mick Poole wasn't all that far away. And the Tigers take the score to 26-10, and this has all the makings of the same kind of walkover it was last time Peterbough were here. They don't seem to be able to do much about it.
Powell, that's 3 races and you're still unbeaten, and a couple of good scraps with the Panthers into the bargain. You're going well tonight.
Yeah, not too bad. I just wish I could make a start. It might make it a bit easier instead of trying to come from the back all the time.
We've built up a 16-point lead at the end of heat 6. How big a margin do you think we'll have to take down to Peterborough?
Well, I don't know. The way we're going, looks like we're going to get 70. I don't think that should be enough, really. I think last time we were down there, we got 45 or something like that. I can't remember, but I think we can do the same as what we did last time, if not better. So 70 will be heaps.
So you're confident now they're going to get a big enough lead?
Definitely, yeah.
Right, thanks, Mickey.
No worries.
Gate number 7, Eric Monaghan gets gate 1 here. Jesper Olsen's in gate 2. Hans Clausen, he had quite a good opening ride. He goes from gate 3. And Nigel Crabtree coming from gate 4. And it's Monaghan and Olsen to the first corner. Nigel Crabtree's coming around the outside. Jesper Olsen's come down. And it does seem that the race is being allowed to continue. I felt Jesper Olsen was brought down by Eric Monaghan there. Nigel Crabtree's got to the front without a great deal of difficulty, and the race is now stopped. Very late, I suppose because Olsen wasn't off the track. And what decision are we going to get? I did say that I felt Monaghan had caused it. Olsen's excluded. Tigers fans don't like that one, and personally I think all 4 might have been fairer. So a rerun to heat number 7, and Nigel Crabtree's on his own against Monaghan and Clausen. Here comes Crabtree for a burst round the outside. He's not quite there, although Monaghan lifts fatally there, and that allows Nigel Crabtree the chance to switch through to the inside. Here comes Clausen, but Crabtree leads. And the Panthers always seem to make that fatal mistake. Crabtree's away. Wide line, Nigel Crabtree. That would usually be Eric Monaghan's passing line, but Eric having to stick to the inside. He's not far away, but I can't see him passing on that line unless Nigel Crabtree makes a mistake. That hasn't happened, so Nigel Crabtree takes the victory. The Tigers lead by 29 points to 13. Good for last by
The Panthers seem to be struggling a little bit tonight. Is this the case?
Very much so, yeah. The track's a little bit greasy to start off with. It's drying out now, and it's still a little bit slick. But you know, what can we say? Like, I'm trying my best. I'm just not getting out the gate as well as I would like. I'm making a few mistakes, but relatively riding the track fairly smooth. But just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And with the rest of the lads, I think they're finding it awkward to get around, the same as like I am in trying to get out of the gate.
You've also made a team change, bringing in Ronnie Pedersen for Rod Calhoun. Has this gamble paid off so far?
Basically, no. I think it's a gamble that the promotion are allowed to take. It's entirely up to them. They call the tunes and we play them, like, you know. So at the end of the day, it's their decision. I think they brought Ronnie in to get points here rather than Rod Calhoun, who don't normally get any points here. But to me, I think it's a wrong move. But then I'm not promotion.
Right, thanks a lot, Alan, and good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you very much.
Heat number 8, David Nagle is on gate 1. He was very unlucky in his first race. Gate 2, it's Ronnie Pedersen, who's been quite impressive on his first shop-field appearance. In gate 3, it's Mick Powell and Jason Gage in gate 4, so no changes by the Panthers here. This would be the traditional tactical substitute race for the visiting team, but Peterborough holding back. Difficult to see what opportunity they might have of really making effective tactical substitutes. And it's Pedersen who's made a good start. Round that first corner, swings it round. That's a very good first bend by Pedersen. And he does look a talented young rider. Can he hang on here? Mick Powell, oh my goodness, Pedersen lifts. And he's stayed in front. Well, he's done very well there. Seemed certain that Mick Powell would get past him, and he's still running into problems, Ronnie Pedersen, lifting each time. He's got round that corner okay. This is the best ride so far by any of the Peterborough riders. Jano Pedersen will be delighted if his namesake can win this one. He's still going to have to work hard because Mick Powell's not far away now as they approach the end of lap 3. Mick Powell trying the blast round the outside. Here comes Mick. Still hasn't quite caught Pedersen. Pedersen swings it in there. He's maybe a bit too tight. Up the final straight, Ronnie Pedersen takes the victory. Excellent effort. A very brave ride because he wasn't in complete control all the way around, but a sign of some real talent there from, I think he's 16-year-old Ronnie Pedersen. Heat number 9, Alan Muggeridge gets gate 1 here. David Walsh is on gate 2. Paul Hurry goes from gate 3, and Nigel Crabtree in gate 4. And Panthers have reached 16 points, largely by good fortune. But I wonder if Ronnie Pedersen's ride in the last race will inspire something from his teammates. Made a good start, and Crabtree, oh my goodness, David Walsh has fallen off now. How astonishing, and Tigers losing an awful lot of points through, well, what would you call it, misfortune or poor judgment or whatever. Peterborough set to share another race, and even Glasgow might struggle to do that unless Nigel Crabtree can ride well here. Certainly looking good, but Paul Hurry's looking quite threatening there in second place, and Alan Muggeridge giving it a go as well. Hurry on the inside, Nigel Crabtree riding that very wide line. It's fair enough as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Peterborough riders really racing hard here. Crabtree hanging on for dear life. They're not far away from his back wheel. Alan Muggeridge Seems to have stopped on the last corner, but there's no way David Walsh will catch him. Crabtree wins it, and David Walsh is the Tiger kicking himself this time. Tigers giving away a horrendous number of points. Their lead now is 35-19. It should be substantially more. Heat number 10, Mick Powell's on gate 1 here. Hans Clausen's on gate 2. Robert Nage goes from gate 3, and Eric Monaghan out in gate 4. Peterborough continuing to get a few gifts, but they'll really need to do something on their own account if they're going to get this match close enough to be pulled back in the second leg. At the moment they're only 16 down. I'm sure they'd settle for finishing there at the end, but unless Tigers continue to make mistakes and suffer from ill fortune, I can't see it being that close at the end. Mick Powell, a flying start from gate number 1, and Robert Nage coming round to join him. Monaghan got a terrible start, and there's a big gap opened up already, with Clausen in third place. Powell sticking to the line, Nage out wide, having a look back to see where the opposition is. They're well back. Final lap. No problems whatsoever at the moment. Nage keeping an eye on his partner. No mistakes this time. 3 points to Mick Powell in the end, and Robert Nage just slowing as they go over the line. The important thing is it's a 5-1, and the lead now 40-20. Heat 11, the man on the inside is Ronnie Pedersen, Panthers' only heat winner so far. In gate 2 it's Nigel Crabtree, Mick Poole goes from gate 3, and Jesper Olsen is in gate 4. Pedersen's not far away, but Olsen's gone round him. Tigers in a 5-1 position again. Mick Poole's missed the gate once more, and he really doesn't seem to be able to do anything about this. Ronnie Pedersen, an excellent effort to burst past Olsen there, and Pedersen really starting to cut loose and show us some of his ability. Olsen may not be fully fit, of course. He'll be struggling to hang on ahead of Mick Poole. At the moment he's clear in third place. Pedersen's going really well, and is even making up ground on Nigel Crabtree. Pedersen having the audacity to challenge Crabtree. Mick Poole's closing in on Jesper Olsen at the back, and the Tigers Danes hanging on grimly. Crabtree keeps his unbeaten run going, but a very good ride by Pedersen again. Jesper Olsen gets the third place as Mick Poole lifts, not doing a number one's job at all. So that was a 4-2 to the Tigers, and quite an interesting race. Glasgow now lead 44-22. Heat 12, it'll be David Walsh going from gate number 1. In gate 2 it's Paul Hurry, who's the first tactical substitute of the evening for the Panthers. He replaces Scott Curtin, who'll have to get a ride later on. In gate 3 it's James Greaves, and in gate 4 it's Hans Clausen. tapes, and it's Walsh and Greaves leading the way. Clausen scraping the fence. Hurry tried to jump the start and got caught, and oh dear, he's overslid there. Drops right to the back. So it's proving to be a wasted tactical substitute for the Panthers, I'm afraid. And they're getting very little right. Walsh out wide, Greaves on the line, and although he's a reserve, James Greaves, pretty formidable round Shawfield. Panthers trying hard to get back into things. Clausen with a burst there, somewhere close to the Tigers now. Walsh and Greaves. It's getting a bit tight. Both Panthers right on the tail of the Tigers. But they get the 5-1. Greaves, I think, first over the line, followed by Walsh. And the Panthers gating, that was what let them down there. They had the speed, as we saw, they caught the Tigers, but they couldn't get through, so it's another 5-1, 49-23, and the score is now mounting. It's unbeaten Nigel Crabtree, 4 wins behind him, going into gate number 1. Eric Monaghan is in gate 2. David Walsh goes from gate 3, and gate 4 it's Alan Mogridge. The gap's 26 now, and it's difficult to see it not growing before the end of the night. Start, but he may come round the outside here. Monaghan, I think, though, has got into second, and there goes Mogridge, so David Walsh has his work cut out this time. Monaghan outside, Crabtree there. Crabtree takes him wide. David Walsh has fallen off for the second time. He is struggling. Here comes Monaghan on the inside of Crabtree this time. Going for his 5th win, just changing his lines, keep Eric Monaghan guessing. Former Stoke teammates, of course. Crabtree stays ahead as they get to the final corner. Monaghan trying an inside burst, but Crabtree gets there. A shared race with another Tigers faller there. 52-26 the score. Heat 14, a couple of changes here. Robert Nash goes from gate 1 in red. In gate 2, Scott Curtin comes in, surprisingly, to replace Paul Hurry. In gate 3, it's James Greaves who takes the place of Jesper Olsen, who clearly struggling with his injured wrist. And in gate 4, rather fortunate not to be taken out of this one, I think, it's Mick Poole. Let's see if he can justify the decision. No, he can't. He hasn't even left the start. Well, you can't blame him for that, I suppose, but Tigers, I'm sure, Panthers rather, I'm sure, must be regretting not leaving Paul Hurrier, and I couldn't understand the decision anyway. James Greaves now trying to come round the outside of Scott Curtin. I'm sure he'll do it. He has done. Greaves into second. And Mick Poole has 1 point from 4 rides. And he faces a meeting at Edinburgh tonight. I don't know whether his engine problems are serious. Not a happy man. So this is another 5-1 for the Tigers unless they do something silly. Problems, 57-27 the score. Heat 15, the reserves out this time, and it's Scott Curtin going from gate number 1. James Greaves is in gate 2, he's on paid 9 from 3. In gate 3 it's Jason Gage, and in gate 4 David Nagel. Made the start. Gage isn't far away as well. Gage almost moved into second there but didn't make the final decisive move. So Curtin leads, Greaves chasing, and David Nagel at the back. What can the Tigers reserves do about this? Oh dear, Curtin's down and he's hit in the back by David Nagel's bike, unfortunately. James Greaves spinning into the fence. And we hope that the riders are okay, that's the main concern. Curtin appeared to take the worst of it, although James Greaves is also still down. Well, 8:15 again, we've had a delay of something like 15 minutes, but the 3 riders who are left in the race are back out at the starting line. James Greaves eventually rose, I think they said with perhaps a cut elbow. Scott Curtin also rose, and we believe he's okay too, but of course he's not in the rerun. So maybe with a bit of luck we can get this race underway sometime. I don't know what we're waiting for now. Peterbough race at Edinburgh tonight, as we said. There's a complete lack of urgency about the proceedings. David Nagel switched to Mick Powell's machine, couldn't get his own started. James Greaves makes the start. Jason Gage on the outside line, but here comes Nagel through on the inside, into second. Gage trying to fight back into the third bend. David Nagel gets past him. Tigers reserves pulling away now. Doesn't look completely comfortable on Mick Powell's bike, but he's got a big enough lead over Jason Gage as they get to the last turn, and it's another 5-1 for the Tigers. They lead by 62 points to 28. Heat 16, this might be a little bit of a sticky one for the Tigers. The fact that they're under strength shows up a bit here. Paul Hurry goes from gate number 1 for Peterborough. James Greaves is in gate 2, replacing Shane Bowes effectively. In gate 3 it's Mick Poole, and out in gate 4 it is the probably unfit Jesper Olsen. So if ever Peterborough had a chance to hit back a bit, it's got to be this race. And Hurry and Poole have indeed made the start. James Greaves comes round the inside, and I think he's passed them. He's certainly got into second. Paul Hurry's made it back into first place. Mick Poole swinging right out to the fence. Greaves pressing Hurry. And Olsen's in there as well. Certainly pressurising Mick Poole. Olsen inside Poole there. And he's got past. Mick Poole turning in a dreadful performance. Greaves and Olsen have shaken off Poole. Paul Hurry, I think, may have established himself in front. Glasgow have done well to get through this race without giving up a heat advantage. They take the 3-all. And Mick Poole, really, questions have to be asked about his performance. He's being jeered by the crowd. A terrible effort by the Panthers number 1. Heat number 17, Mick Powell going from the inside gate. In gate 2 it's Hans Clausen, gate 3 is David Walsh, who's had rather a curious night, and in gate 4, Alan Mogridge. Mick Powell, a dozen points to his credit so far, doing very well. David Walsh has taken a couple of falls, so he'll be keen to put that right. And I'm sure the Tigers are looking for a 5-1 here. Made a good start. Clausen's in between them there at the first corner, but it's Powell and Walsh to the front. Alan Mogridge, I think, looked as though he was getting through into third, and it's the Panthers battling for the single point again, as they have in so many of these races. Powell and Walsh out in front. Mick Powell waiting for his partner. David Walsh, oh dear, almost down again there. Don't know what's the matter with David Walsh. And Alan Mogridge may have just about squeezed inside him, not quite. David Walsh almost took his third fall of the night, and he's drifting out wide again. Mick Powell trying desperately to cover for Walsh. Oh, and Mogridge has come down. I wonder if he's going to get up. I think he should. He's making a ridiculous attempt to get out from under his machine there. And the race is stopped. The riders may have reached the last lap. And I don't believe Alan Mogridge was genuinely trying to get up there. There's no reason for a rider to be trapped under his machine in that manner, and I really think that race ought to be declared. It has been awarded. The referee's saying they've reached the last lap, whether they actually had quite got there or not. 5-1 to the Tigers, which is what they deserve. Number 18, the top scorers race. We've finally got to the end of a very long meeting after 2 hours 20 minutes. Ronnie Pedersen goes from gate 1 here. He's in the top scorers race with 6 points. For the Panthers, Robert Nage is unbeaten apart from a fall. He goes from gate 2. Eric Monaghan on gate 3 is on 5 points, and he's made it to the top scorers race. And Nigel Crabtree has 5 victories. Star of the show so far. Robert Nage has made the start from gate 2. No, Ronnie Pedersen's holding him out. And Ronnie Pedersen has certainly been the star from the Panthers' point of view. He leads into the third turn. Robert Nage is with him, but I think Pedersen's holding the lead. Terrific stuff by the young Dane for the Panthers. Nage is with him, bursting round the outside. This could be the best race of the night. Here goes Nage down the back straight, but he hasn't got to the front. Pedersen still leads, turning in an excellent performance. Crabtree's at the back at the moment. Nage again on the outside. Pedersen Still holds the lead. Nash has to switch to the inside. And a very talented young man, this. Leads the way into the last lap. Nash has certainly not given up. Now he sweeps around the outside again. Pedersen gets straightened up, but I think Nash might catch him here. Into the third corner, Nash bursts to the front. Best race of the night is the last one. Pedersen locks up. And who's going to make it to the line? It's so very close. I suspect maybe Nash by a tyre, but full marks for a terrific ride to Ronnie Pedersen. And he at least has shown something for the Panthers. I don't know whether Nash got it or not. It was a classic race, the first really decent race we've had tonight. And Panthers can at least take some consolation from Pedersen's effort. He scored either 8 or 9 depending on whether he held on in that last race or not. We'll get that in a moment, which means that the score is either 73-35 or 74-34, which should be well and truly enough for Glasgow to make it through to the next stage. But thank goodness Ronnie Pedersen turned up, because really none of his teammates did anything at all.
Nigel Crabtree, a 38-point victory for the Tigers. Will that be enough to take down to Peterborough?
How many points? 38? 38. Yeah, hopefully. How many points did we score? How many points did that give us?
73.
73. Yeah, I mean, the least we've had anywhere we've been on our travels, I think this year is probably 44, 45. So, yeah, hopefully that should be enough points.
You had 5 wins going into the last race and just missed out on your maximum there. Overall, was it a good performance tonight from yourself?
Yeah, maybe so. It would have been better if we could have done something, got a point or something in that last race, but you know, I didn't do anything different in the last race. I went to the edge of the dirt where I'd gone all night to try and get round. Unfortunately, the dirt's dried out and it was more powdery and wasn't as much grip in it as there was early on in the meeting, obviously, and it just didn't work that time, so we struggled a little bit, but never mind.
The Tigers seemed to show more appetite for the fray than the Panthers did, and were more inclined to go in for the hard passing and overtaking. Did you think this was a feature as well?
Possibly that's possibly because we're at home, we're at Glasgow, we know where to go and where not to go. Man, I think tonight probably we're going where we shouldn't have been going and still getting away with it, so yeah, as you say, it was a good team performance.
Thanks a lot, Nigel. Let's hope for some more good performances.
Thank you.